Welcome to The Explainer. Let's just jump right into this, shall we? Today, we're exploring a deeply powerful call to action that comes from a presentation called The Dream Holder, Orchestrating a Life of Greatness. Over the next few minutes, we're going to unpack the speaker's core message, all about recognizing our inherent greatness and, honestly, the massive responsibility that comes with the simple gift of life. It's this fascinating look at how our personal potential intersects with historical legacy, challenging us to move way beyond just, going through the motions every day. The ideas we're about to look at provide an absolutely brilliant framework for self-reflection. So we're kicking things off with this really sobering thought. The source material uses this concept to challenge us right out of the gate. It asks us to look beyond just blind celebration, way beyond just marking holidays or coasting through our routines, and instead asks how we are truly orchestrating our time, our talents, and our opportunities. It totally frames life not just as something we happen to experience, but as a crucial resource we're responsible for managing. The speaker argues that simply being alive, that isn't enough. The true measure is what we construct with the life we've actually been handed. Section 1. The Gift of Access, From Reflection to Realization. This concept powerfully reframes our typical everyday human anxieties. The speaker poses this super direct question. Are we actually living a complete life, or are we dying incomplete? The source makes a great point here that our biggest fear shouldn't actually be death itself. I mean, death is inevitable, right? Rather, the ultimate tragedy is reaching the very end of life only to realize we never even scraped the surface of our true potential. It's that fear of a life unlived, of potential that was literally handed to us, but never fully realized. It's definitely a prompt that makes you evaluate whether you're taking full advantage of the access we were just talking about. Section 2. Becoming a dream holder and elevating those around you. There is a massive, vital difference between merely surviving your circumstances and truly thriving by embracing your internal greatness. The source acknowledges a pretty difficult reality here. Unfortunately, a lot of people have had the impulse to dream completely beaten out of them through just the harsh everyday experiences of life. Setbacks, disappointments, systemic challenges, they can force people into this mindset where they are strictly focused on just surviving the day. But the presentation emphasizes that we all possess an internal greatness that is meant for truly thriving. And the bridge between surviving and thriving, well, that often involves the intervention of others. And here is exactly how that intervention works. Enter the dream holder. This is a person who sees the potential in someone else and holds the vision for them until they can actually see it themselves. So the crucial point to remember is that living your dream isn't just about you. It's a shared ecosystem. It's about accepting the responsibility to be a dream holder for someone else who might be stuck in that survival mode we just talked about. There is someone out there right now who needs your voice, your specific presence, to inspire them to see their own worth. You're basically holding the dream for them until their eyes adjust to the light. Section 3. Honoring the sacrifices, the price of our access. Building up this really powerful historical context, the speaker emphasizes that we absolutely must revere the past, acknowledging that the access we have to dream today was paid for by the blood, sweat, and tears of the civil rights movement. The source vividly describes a path watered with tears and the blood of the slaughtered. The speaker traces the progression for us. In the 1950s and 60s, the struggle was against actual physical barriers like segregated fountains. It was about facing unimaginable hatred and enduring physical abuse while trying to control one's anger so you didn't literally lose your mind. But today, the physical barriers have changed and the struggle has shifted to an internal battle. Today's fight is simply waking up to our own worth and actually utilizing the freedom that was so heavily paid for. Section 4. Amplifying voices of hope and multiplying the message. Just take a second and let this number sink in. 100,000. The speaker asks us to imagine the sheer power and the massive ripple effect of having 100,000 voices of hope actively speaking life and purpose into the people around them. Think about that concept of the dream holder we were just discussing. Now multiply that by 100,000. It's a staggering visual of community transformation, isn't it? The source argues that we need this massive volume of everyday people actively deciding to use their voices for good. And what happens when we achieve that critical mass? The results would be profound. The speaker points out a real modern tragedy. We often have way more people listening to what they call hair trash, useless, distracting gossip and negativity, than we do to actual inspiration. The source reminds us that death and life are in the power of the tongue. If we spoke with one unified voice of purpose, instead of focusing on all that negativity, the speaker asserts we could drastically reverse tragic societal statistics. We would see dropout rates plummet, teenage pregnancy drop, senseless violence decrease, and communities actively developing real, tangible skill sets.
It all hinges on what we choose to amplify.
Section 5, Your Story of Greatness and the Call to Action. The source provides a brilliant cultural contrast here to really drive the point home. I am a thug versus I am the dream. The speaker argues that to achieve this massive cultural shift, we have to stop mocking up our bodies with superficial labels and instead start heavily investing in building up our inner character. Imagine the undeniable difference we could make in our communities if we traded the symbolism of sagging pants for suits and ties, using them as metaphors for self-respect. The goal is to completely abandon destructive, limiting declarations and replace them with empowering truths like, I am the dream. Because here is the absolute crucial takeaway from all of this source material. You are greater than your circumstances. The presentation emphasizes that sometimes a person needs a story of hope even more than they need food to stay alive. And the story the speaker offers is that you have a visionary and a leader inside of you right now. It isn't about religion and it isn't about politics. It is entirely about recognizing your own everyday capacity to do, have, and experience far more than you can even begin to imagine. Which brings us to this incredibly poignant piece of advice. Don't die with your music still inside you. The speaker urges us to let our lives be an active, breathing celebration of the dream that so many fought for. You have a unique song, a unique talent, and a completely unique presence. You have to ensure that you don't reach the end of your journey with that music still locked away, unplayed, and unheard by a world that really needed it. And that leaves us with this final, provocative thought to close out our explainer. How will you use your voice to live the dream? As you process the ideas we've covered today, take a real moment to reflect on the greatness within you. Will you step up as a dream holder for someone else? What kind of legacy are you going to orchestrate with the time and the talents you've been given? I hope this breakdown helped clarify this powerful message for you. Keep learning, keep reflecting, and thanks so much for joining me.